Hello and welcome, y'all. Today we are doing a quick review of the game Kaku, the Ancient Seal. So this game is an open world action adventure combining exploration with puzzles and dynamic combat. You go on a journey across a sprawling continent as Kaku, a boy tasked to restore balance on the land, brave the four elemental regions with the help of Piggy, his powerful companion, and conquer their lords. So the game actually looked pretty cute. The graphics in it seemed nice, so I figured, I'll give it a go. So I played it for a little over an hour. I have not gotten that far into the game yet, but I wanted to give my quick little view on the first hour of gameplay, basically. So as you can see, I immediately start testing out what I can do, how I jump, how I move, and the fact that you have a double jump right off the bat, I am extremely happy with. I love a game where I can jump and run around and not have to stress too much. So that was pretty cool. The graphics are very nice. It is cartoony, but it's also realistic at the same time, I feel. So it's not bad. I think they do a good mesh of the two together. The landscape is beautiful, as you can see in some of the cutscenes that happen throughout. The combat is okay. It's nothing crazy right off the bat. Just simple knockouts and then smacks and punches and all that. Just melee fighting right off the bat. It's nothing too challenging. To me, this seems like a very cozy kind of game so far. It's not overly challenging. Now, there are 3 game modes that you can play. One is easy, one is normal, and then one is hard. So I'm assuming the hard mode would definitely be more of a challenge. So if you're curious about the game but you want something that's a little more challenging, there is an option for that. I'm just playing on normal right now, just to see what it's like as intended. We do have options to eventually get better gear that you can swap out for, which is good to know. As far as what all you end up finding throughout the game, that I don't know. But right off the bat, you do have a few things that you end up picking up along the way. I love the sound of the snow under the feet. I do think that was a very nice kind of immersive sound to add. So I always love it when games go that extra step. Being able to use the environment again itself here, when you hit the beehive and the bees attack the boars, that was actually a pretty cool feature. I don't want to give away a lot of the actual story itself, just because I don't want to spoil anything. So that's why we're not showing any of the actual story itself. But here you have your tutorial where you have all the information on controls, you have all the information on the different functions as you unlock them, your inventory, the different monsters you'll come across in the game, and then you have also the information on the elementals below. And as you can see, there are a lot of different creatures that you'll come across, so I am really curious what some of them will look like and what they'll be. So that's kind of cool that there's going to be a lot, basically, to explore and to find. There are plenty of loot chests around as you explore. Some of them are hidden, some of them not so much. So you just gotta have to keep an eye out. I thought that was kind of a cool little thing. So it's not all just straightforward. You do kind of have to be a little more cautious of your surroundings so you don't miss out anything. Not anything there. So I thought that was kind of cool. And as you can see here, the bushes look a little funny, so I decided to test it out, and sure enough, we found a hidden chest. And yes, I play enough games where some chests turn into mimics, so I'm just have a habit of smacking chests sometimes to make sure they're not mimics. And as you can see right in the beginning, the combat's pretty straightforward. You have an option to stun, you have an option to smack around, you do have your ranged you can use as well with your slingshot. That's pretty much it right at the beginning. Now there are combos you can do with your melee. We did see a list of some of that when we were looking at the tutorial. I don't really don't utilize that a lot. As you can see with me fighting here, I just pretty straightforward and killing things. I don't do anything fancy. Maybe I'll venture into the combos later on, but for right now, I just did some smacking around. And even that works well enough. Nothing wrong with it. You can see my health bar and my stamina bar on the top left. The stamina doesn't go down whenever you're hitting things, but whenever you dodge, when you roll, that you will definitely see a stamina drain for. So just to be cautious of that. The puzzles so far have been pretty straightforward, so it has not been bad trying to figure those out. And we have a chest.
Kaku.
Again, that double jump, I love it. So much fun. As you can see, I keep playing with it. I love hopping around in games that let me hop around. I did learn pretty quickly that the range is very, very nice. So I do tend to use that more often than I do the close range. I didn't really realize that that was what I was favoring here when I had the option to level things up. So I did go ahead and level up the straight up melee. Granted, I didn't have the stones needed to level up the ranged anyway, but in the abilities tab, I could have leveled up the ranged, and I should have, but I didn't really think about that, so that was my own mistake there. But I definitely recommend putting the points into, or the ore into, what you are favoring. So don't make my mistake. This is your first main big boss that you fight. I did fight him the whole time with the ranged. You obviously don't have to, but his moves are pretty easy to figure out when to dodge. So he's not that bad. I have a feeling the bosses are probably going to be a bit harder later on, but for right now, it wasn't that bad. I do love the cutscenes, the cinematics in the game so far. They've actually been pretty good. The story seems pretty deep, and I do love that. So if you like a game with a big story, I can honestly recommend this. I think it's really good so far. Again, the combat has been a lot of fun. I really have enjoyed the combat in the game so far. Who doesn't love a big sword smashing things? I mean, come on. That was actually pretty cool. I did enjoy that. And here we have another cutscene that to me was just really, really, really pretty. Not sure the whole thing, but just so you kind of get an idea. It's real. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was beautiful. There is a map for the elemental areas that you can fast travel to, which I thought was kind of cool. But each area has its own map as well, which is also kind of cool. So it looks like it's a pretty vast area. So this has been my quick review of the game. I hope you enjoyed. Please check it out on Steam, the link below. Make sure you like and subscribe for more, and I appreciate y'all.